I'm Dave Ress. I'm a reporter with the Richmond Times-Dispatch. At the Times-Dispatch, one of the issues that we cover is mental health and mental health services. Sometimes these are stories like one I've done recently about Chester House, where we can show people really making progress to fitting in, despite their challenges, with life in the community. Sometimes I run into stories in jail and the courts where people are having a harder time. They're in a crisis, there's a police call, there's physical contact, and sometimes the result is a charge, a felony charge of assault and battery on a law enforcement officer. This is a fairly heavy-duty charge. It can bring up to 5 years in prison. There's a mandatory minimum, if you're convicted, of 6 months. So I got curious about what happens because I've run into many people who have ended up in jail or are in the courts on this charge. Working with a computer engineer, we compiled a database of some 300,000 general district court cases and about 100,000 circuit court cases. And from this found out that there were about 3,900 assault and battery on law enforcement cases that appeared before Virginia courts. What the database also told us is how many of these end up with a conviction on the felony, how many where there's a plea down to a lesser offense, simple assault and battery, usually with a suspended sentence, how many helped people sort of get to the treatment that they need. It's a complicated issue. It's an issue that the General Assembly has wrestled with for several years. And what we're hoping at the Times-Dispatch is that by introducing people to what happens with these cases, the number of them, the good things that can happen and the difficult things that can happen, we can help legislators and the public decide what's the best course forward. That's why I work for the Times-Dispatch and why I hope you will keep reading the Times-Dispatch every day.